Hello, people. We are back. Act 2, the podcast, episode 167. It's your boy, International Walk.
It's your girl, Tosh, the co-host with the most.
And we are back for another episode of us. We was on a little bit of a hiatus, but y'all won't notice. Hiatus. But, so we had some logistics issues. But we back, man. And
we are
back.
Literally back.
Yeah, literally back for another episode of us. Hope y'all was doing well out there. Heard y'all got a little rain back here. You know, we was away for a little bit. But, we back. Let's get right to the show. How are you?
I'm doing good. I feel amazing. Vacation was amazing. Our favorite vacation spot, Jamaica, was good to us. Mentally, I'm a 9. And I'll say just because coming back from vacation in the reacclimation to life, it's like, you know, you don't want to be scattered, but you kind of got to like transition. I'm happy that you were right on point with us coming back with having that day buffer between work. Oh my goodness, it would have been, I don't want to say a disaster because who knows what it
just
happened.
Wouldn't have felt like it if it was work today.
Oh,
I know
my
damn sure.
goodness.
Well, first off, I wouldn't have took an O'Malley. And it was fucking...
O'Malley is melatonin. That's our nickname. Something you take a drug.
But
we didn't get into midnight.
I know. I wouldn't have went to work.
You wouldn't have went to work.
No.
So I'm happy that we had that buffer. But you know, you got to unpack it. Well, we'll get into the vacation logistics because different people vacation differently.
Yeah.
But,
and there's a couple of things that I want to put on the table. Like there's 2 things I'm never doing, like as a man and as a grown person when we go on vacation. Okay. And I'll share those.
We'll get there. But I'm feeling like a 9 just because, you know, as a woman, you know, you got to get the house together. We already got my groceries, got to get some laundry done, you know, got to do the unpacking, get some sorting out done. But I feel great. Like when I say a 9, that's like a 9.9, like a real high 9. Financially a 9, amazing vacation, and I'm just taking it down to a 9 just so we can recoup to do it all again, God willing, you know, in the time frame that we want to. Work is a 10 because I ain't been there, and it I don't even know. Well, no, I didn't get any texts or calls or anything, but my team wouldn't do that to me anyway, so I'm just assuming all is well. But if it wasn't, I won't know until I go back to work.
How nice of them.
Yeah. Physically, I'm a 9. I feel great. My sunburn that I had went away a little bit. Now I'm a little peely, but you know, my body parts are a little achy just from, you know, activity. We had a great relaxing vacation, but we moved around a little bit. My knees and my back feeling it a little bit, but I ain't complaining because I would do it all over again. So I'm a 9, 9, 10, 9. How are you?
I'm good. Mentally, I feel like a 10 right now. I feel good. Just had a workout earlier, so I feel great about that. Vacation was excellent. It was much needed. The mental part of it, spiritual part of it, just being away with you, like reconnecting with you, that's always a good feeling in my heart. So that's, good time, good conversation. We ate good for the most part. For the most part, I'm not going to tell people where you had us, but for the most part,
we'll talk about it.
But I feel good mentally. I feel fresh about going to work tomorrow, getting a rest today and going to work tomorrow. So stress level down. Finances a 9. You know, anytime you go on vacation, you spend money. And I made it a 9 for there's room for improvement on the finances. Yeah. Work is a 10, like she said, because I'm not there. And I had to shut my phone down because her coworkers are nice. My coworkers will text and email and do all kinds of shit. So I had to shut my phone down. But no problems, no issues. When I came back, I connected with one of my guys and everything's on the up and up. So I shouldn't be walking into anything that's going to blindside me tomorrow. Good. So good there. Physically, I feel like a 10 because, again, I had an earlier workout. The sun is out. Kind of makes me reminiscent of Jamaica, but
it ain't the
temperature.
same.
It ain't the same temperature. I don't see no palm trees and no goddamn ocean. So that's how I am. What?
I was gonna say any wows or woes.
The wow is just being away, being on vacation. And you know what? Part of the wow is having some place to come back home to.
Absolutely.
Like that's always a good feeling, is to go away, enjoy yourself, have peace, get whatever serenity you want out of it, but always to come home and be where you reside at. It's a good feeling. Like, this is our home, this is our house, and I love it here. So to come back here ain't a bad thing. It's just once the life gets going, it's like back on the hamster
and your mind
wheel.
start thinking, when the next time we doing that vacation?
Yeah, because then your mind starts thinking about responsibilities and your day-to-day thing that you do with work and your other stuff that you do, and it kind of takes up your day. And where we just came from, we had plenty of time in the day, like long days where
it felt
was
like the days was like 28
yeah,
hours.
it was like long days under the sun, and that's just a beautiful feeling.
Any woes?
Woe is just coming back home. That's a part of it too. Like, it's over. You got to chop it off. You got to get on the plane. You got to come back. A big woe is traveling. Like, some people travel a certain way. Some people not. Some people don't care how they get there. Right off the bat, though, I am not ever traveling anywhere if I'm not flying first class. I don't care what it costs. I will budget for that. But I am always booking first class. And I'll work around it however I got to do. But I'm always going first class any trip I go on, hand to God. 2, I am not ever packing a suitcase ever again. I will buy what I need when I get there, and I'm taking a book bag. I'm having a book bag on my back with the essentials that I need, and that's it. But I am not carrying a suitcase anywhere ever again. And I got a third thing. We use long-term parking when we go. We don't get Ubers and shit to the airport. We drive our own cars and just use long-term parking. I'm never ever ever. I'm having my car at the airport. Like, at the airport, I need those 3 things. Have to be the convenience of that stress and struggle in airport and customs and all that kind of stuff. You need the little conveniences in there to make it worth the while. Otherwise, you stress out. And I don't want to travel, have such great times, and then stress out. Not that I did, because I remember years ago, I would have lost my shit, being in the cold like we was last night. But, I just want those conveniences in our life, especially at this season in our life. I think anytime we get on the plane, it's got to be first class. And I don't want us to be carrying or walking through the airport with luggage, waiting for fucking check bags and all that shit. It's just a nuisance to the travel experience.
My wow is just, having a great vacation, and not just the fact that we were on vacation. It really was a good vacation. I remember years ago, we would go on vacation, and by day 3 or 4, we have a little tiff or something, or, just some interruption or disruption. Yeah. And I'm just grateful for the space that we're in, where it just absolutely, from the morning we left to us coming home, even with a little hiccup with coming home because we couldn't find a car for like, a half hour, and it's freezing cold and yada, yada, yada. The luggage took forever to come down, but throughout all of that, we really had an amazing time. And I'm just grateful to God that we had the ability to go away and just really enjoy not just our time, but enjoy each other for the time that we did.
Some days we were on vacation as husband and wife, and then some days we were on vacation as just 2 friends.
Yeah,
like,
and it felt good.
Out doing shit.
It felt good. My woe is, I was gonna say, travel days. Now, I feel a little, the first class, I don't have no opposition to that. We flew first class going because we were able to upgrade. We didn't have the availability coming back, but I'm all for pre-booking. I don't have no objection. I follow his headship, and I receive that. But as far as like the checking bags, I hate checking bags because of exactly what happened last night. It takes you never know what the situation is going to be. My sister, some years ago, she was in a situation where they had to wait hours for their bags to come. Last night,
45 minutes.
We waited about 45 minutes, and it's crazy. Now, I don't necessarily feel like I don't want to take a suitcase, but in flying first class, we had the ability to take a carry-on. We didn't have that option coming home last night, so I'm going to be prepared with to make sure that however we go, whatever luggage I have, I can take it with me. I do not want to check bags because when I get off a plane, I want to go. I do not want to wait. I thank God we never faced the issue with any of our luggage being lost or delayed. Like, I know some people have gone places and they didn't get their luggage for a day or two. We've never encountered that, but I just don't want to wait for my luggage. The whole parking thing, I take accountability for that with us because we never flew out of this airport that we flew out of. It was new to us, and we could have done a better job at like kind of mapping out where we were. Once we got to the car, it made perfect sense because, you know, we were thinking we went to one bus stop, but we actually went to a different bus stop. So it made perfect sense where we were. Just at nighttime, it's, you know, 11 o'clock at night. It looked the same. It's cold, you know. So you know, if he wants to, it was a difference. We would have paid triple what we paid, or almost triple what we paid in parking had we parked at the airport. And I understand some things you pay for convenience, but I think the parking situation was appropriate. We just didn't prepare correctly because it was our first time. It was a new environment.
And thinking back about last night, you're right. It wasn't like we came out the airport, the shuttle was right there. So and he
really let us walk right in front of our car. We walked by it.
And when we went to the airport, the shuttle was right there.
Yeah.
So that wasn't an issue when you really think about it. And he would have dropped us off right there. That whole loop thing he did threw us for a loop.
Yeah.
Because when we got out there, the cold hit us. We're looking at the number. Not realizing this whole row is that number. This whole row is where we parked at. So yeah, compared to this bus stop and then the next one, it looks the same if you're standing there. It looks like the bus stop's over there. But if you go up there, the bus stop's over there. So yeah, it was
and I don't know, maybe we tied something on the antenna so the car stand. I don't know, something to better prepare. But I think the cold, it being late, trying to hurry up and figure out if we can get some food. Like, it was a lot of different factors that kind of made it. We called the supervisor. She came. They was quick on it to come help us. Quick. But by that time, because the lady was concerned.
I literally thought nobody coming out here for fucking hours.
No, she was concerned. She was like, I'm sending the supervisor out. She is a white man. They got a light on the hood. She'll be right out there to help you. Because they probably know, like, in that lot, it happens. And she was like, y'all all right? I was coming for y'all. And I was so appreciative by that time we had found the car. But I was just really appreciative that they did show up and there wasn't no issues, no attitude, no anything. So with all that being said, my woe was just like the travel day in of itself. When you think about it, we had a 13-hour travel day. If you look at, 12 and a half hour from the time we left the resort, which was 11:30. We got home at midnight. Now, so we left, you know, because you want to get that 3-hour buffer for the airplane, but then our flight was delayed an hour, so we had a 12 and a half hour travel day for a flight that's only 4 hours.
Right.
But you got, so travel days just in of themselves. That's why, to each their own, I don't get the whole, you know, being fancy, smancy, all dressed up and all this for traveling, because I want to be comfortable.
You're such in an environment that you can't control.
Yeah, I want to be comfortable. Then once you get to a place, you done been in these clothes all this time. Like, I want to take those clothes off. You done been around people breathing, sneezing, laughing, coughing. Like, I don't want to get someplace and be like, okay, let's head out. I'm taking those travel clothes off immediately because they got travel germs on it.
Yep.
But nevertheless, that was my woe. Just the travel day in of itself. And thank God we got home safe. That is the main objective in any traveling that you're doing, to arrive and return safely. Right. And we did. So I'm grateful for that. Because you're in the
11th hour and it's like, okay, now it's dark. It's fucking, it's crazy. You're tired, pissed off. Yeah. And freezing.
But I appreciate you. I knew cold, frustrated, hungry. The old husband that I have would have let that deflect onto me unfairly because I ain't do it. But I knew, and you managed it.
In no way, shape, form, or fashion was I. When I got upset with you when you started wandering aimlessly. That's when I was like, what is she doing? Like, she is down there almost by the door. Like, why is she way down there? Like, you took a picture of the number. So I'm like, all right, great, the number. But she is not in the number. Like, what is she doing?
By that
Does she think the picture's wrong?
By that point, I was just looking for the car.
I'm thinking
you thought
delirious.
they took the car. Then I was trying to just keep moving because I was so cold. So I wanted to just keep moving.
45 degrees. It felt like it was fucking 10 degrees outside.
Yeah, but I had on a tank top. Thank God I had on a couple little light jackets, but my hands was freezing and our bodies hadn't adjusted. We came from 90-degree weather for the last 5 days, and then bam, here you are, walk around looking in the dark for a car that is tan, so it looks like every other car in here. Like, I wanted to punch my car in the face. Like, why was you hiding from us?
Yeah, it was. It was just chilling by itself. Chilling. But,
where we left it, but still.
That was a 30-minute bad experience. It really was. Yeah. It was like, this is fucking freezing. Like, where's the car? Like, where's the car?
What's the movie? Dude, where's my car?
Yeah, it's like, where's the fucking car? And the wind was like, whoo. It's like, where's the fucking car?
And we drove home for an hour. I never warmed up. I was thinking my car was broke.
And I got mad at you because I'm like, she ain't got no heated steering wheel and she's sitting on her hands and I can't.
I think I turned the heat up to 78. I'm like,
my God.
I was like, where is the heat? Like, and maybe it was on, but I was cold.
Yeah, I didn't warm up till we got like in the house. And then I got in the shower. That's when my hands got nice and warm.
Yeah. What was your favorite part about vacation? I mean, overall it was amazing, but what was your favorite part?
My favorite part, probably the eating. The eating, because you don't eat like that at home. Well, when we go to restaurants, but the eating, the different foods, and just being like out, being free and able to just hang out with you, look at you, and you smile, and you was like extremely happy. That shit makes me, it makes me full. Like I don't know whether you notice it or not, but I'm watching you be happy and not down about anything and free of thought and all that kind of shit. That's what makes me like, okay, like, damn, this is fulfilling for me because my baby is enjoying herself. And like you said, I didn't even think about it in Jamaica, but like you said, like no tiffs, no arguments. And I think that's a testament to our therapy, the work that we've done.
Amen.
And just knowing how to channel frustration. Like, if I'm frustrated about something, it ain't her fault. Like, she ain't do nothing. She trying to fix whatever situation we in, but just knowing how to channel that energy, having tools, yeah. So that's the best parts of vacation. Mm-hmm. You?
I think for me, just being disconnected from the world and connected to each other. Yeah. Like, literally, I didn't check no social media, no news. I was hoping, God forbid, our house blew up, we would get a notification of some kind. But
I don't know why you think like
I don't know, but even when we turned the corner last night, I was like,
it's still there.
Please, God, don't let it. I don't know why my mind went to don't let the house be burnt down. But I mean, not to like sound repetitive, but just really for us, it was so beautiful. Like, we prayed in the ocean. That might sound so corny and cliche, but it was beautiful, just us being connected to one another and not always like chitty chatty, like just laying on the beach next to each other. I was reading my book. He was snoring, embarrassing me, but just there with each other, having a good time on each other's time. Like, we didn't have, the hotel did have, and I kind of thought about it after the fact. We loved the hotel we went to. This was our second time, and they improved with like their daily event schedule, and they had some things that, in hindsight, if this wasn't our first vacation in almost 2 years, actually our first vacation in 23 months, then I may have thought about let me do. I did think about it, but I just wanted to relax. I didn't want to be on anybody's clock except for our own.
I didn't tell you, there was a white lady who's when I was back there smoking, and she said to her girlfriend, I got up this morning at 6 a.m. for 7 o'clock yoga on the beach, and she was like, yeah, did you do it? She was like, I ain't did it in a while. She was like, I barely got through it. It was so hard and hot. She was like, Oh, okay. She was like, but I'm proud I woke up.
Yeah, like they had 7 a.m. yoga one day. Every day they
Water
had
aerobics.
11:30 water aerobics, and then the afternoon activities kind of changed. They had a Jamaican dance class one day.
Heart and Soul tour.
The one day we were leaving, they had we don't drink, but they had a paint and sip thing like on the beach, which I thought would have been really cool. So again, those activities, God willing, maybe next time, when we got some vacation back in our soul, I'll feel like being on somebody else's itinerary, but we love vacationing without an itinerary. Yeah. Wake up when we want to, go
nap
to breakfast, nap when we want to, like just doing what we want. So that for me, like not being on a clock, like we kind of had a little game, like what time you think it is, like trying to guess what time it is,
because we never knew.
We really never knew, and if we didn't have to, that was the good part. It just, the only time we had to know what time it was, we went to get a massage, and we wanted to be on time for our appointment. Other than that, we didn't have to know. We did have dinner reservations 2 nights, but it just felt good being together, being in unison with one another, just enjoying the space that we were in. And I'll say being together and with God, because we talk to God a lot. We prayed to God a lot. Just enjoying the space. We laid in bed, watched the first 48 marathon one day,
that's
one
the thing.
night.
Like, it's like we fuck with each other like that. So I'm on her time, she's on my time. Whatever she wants to do, let's go do it.
We had amazing
whatever
sex
I want to
every
do,
day.
let's go do it. And if it's like she wants to go on the beach, let's go beach. Let's go burn up. Like if I want to go buy weed, let's go buy weed. Like if we want to watch First 48, let's go watch that. Like let's go to let's go get in the ocean. Yeah,
into the First 48
because we hadn't seen that shit in a while. But yeah.
And we had amazing sex every day.
We did. We had good sex. It was great.
No, we had amazing sex every day.
It wasn't every day.
Except for the last day.
Except for the last day.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
But yeah, so for me, yes, that was like just us. Us. Again, it had been a long time.
I don't want to forget about the entertainment because I really, really enjoyed the entertainment.
He loved his band.
A band called the J Soul Band, and their lead singer was Natural. And he was the shit, man. He performed. Like, he really performed. He sweated his shirt
soul out.
And he sang reggae, he sang old school American song. Like, he sang his ass off, and he got this like deep baritone voice, but not like deep, but it was deep enough, and he just sound good, man. I thought they was a good, and the band changed up. It was the same band, but the next night it would be different men. Like
they kind of switched out some of the musicians and singers.
Yeah, and it still sound good. Still, every lead singer, like, he did it his way, but Natural. And if you go to Jamaica and you go to one of them resorts and the J Soul Band is coming, you stay for that. Watch that one night because the dude is good. Shouts out to Natural and the J Soul Band.
Yeah, that was cool. Cool.
Vacation. The questions are based around vacation. How often should you vacate if money isn't an issue? Because too much of anything is not good for you either. So how often should you? And I don't think what we agreed upon is too much. I think a vacation a quarter, if you can afford it. We don't have any kids, so that's feasible for us. But how often? Let's just say if we had enough money but still worked.
I mean,
or had more money. Would you want to go on a vacation like once a month?
I would love that, but I would say every other month would be like. Because every vacation doesn't have to be the same length of time. True. So to do,
and this was my first shorter vacation, which I was reluctant to take. I'm a week-to-week guy. Like, give me a Saturday to Saturday, a Wednesday to Wednesday, and let me just chill. But I've learned after taking so many vacations like that, you do kind of be like day 4, day 5, like, I wouldn't be mad if we, I'm kind of full. I wouldn't be mad if we went back
I'm happy
today.
I have more days, but I don't feel like I would be cheated with.
So if you pick the right timing, then 4 days is great. 5 days is great.
I think a Thursday to Monday is like perfect. I think 4 days minimum is, well, because even if you could squeeze in a 3-day and it's like a quick, especially if, again, you don't have to wait for baggage claim.
3 days? Nah, I don't think I could do it 3 days. Only place I could probably
3 nights? Because you figure three nights is
probably like a Las Vegas. Like bam, 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 and then come back. Because
the flight is longer to Las Vegas than it is to Puerto Rico.
It's 5 hours.
Puerto Rico is 3. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, but I mean, I guess, yeah.
That's
but going to Puerto Rico for 3 nights is like, damn.
But I'm saying, if you left on a Friday to Saturday, Saturday to Sunday, Sunday to Monday, and you came home like on a late evening flight on Monday, that's all I'm saying. Because you leave early Friday, so you got all day Friday the beach, all day Saturday the beach, all day Sunday the beach. Monday morning, little, sunshine, some breakfast, head towards the airport, and then be on your way home. That ain't bad. I'm not saying that's ideal for every vacation, but if you slip one of those, like if you went every other month and you slipped a couple of those 3 nights, because again, 3 nights is different than 3 days, because 3 nights is really getting 4 days out of it. So if you slipped a couple 3 nights in there, I wouldn't be opposed to that if we went every other month. Now, if we want to do 4 or 5 or more nights, then I think once a quarter is good. That's
so let's just say you're going once a quarter, where do you fit those vacations in where you need 4 days of travel, where you need 10 days, where you're talking about Zanzibar, you're talking about Cairo, you're talking about those days, because you can't, like, you need planning and specific timing for that, because like we talked about, day and a half in the beginning, day and a half in the end, you got to leave 4 days for travel.
Well, that's when your vacation has to be.
And you want to be there longer than a goddamn week.
Well, I don't think you're going to be there longer than a week, but that's when you need, your vacation might be a Saturday to Sunday, right? But you're staying Monday to Friday. So you might, because you got that Saturday and Sunday to travel, but you might be sleeping Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So you might be 5 nights, but your actual travel time frame might be a 9-day thing, because you got a day and a half on the beginning, day and a half on the end.
I would love for those vacations and this is just what what I would, in an ideal situation, I would love for those vacations that we take to Africa and things like that to be like 7 to 10 day vacations.
I mean,
like, because it's a resting period.
You mean being there for 7 to 10 days?
Yeah, like it's a resting period. It's a want to see stuff, experience, like not just a Caribbean vacation where it's like some beach and shit. It's like, hold up, we in Johannesburg. Like, hold up, we in Cairo. Like, I don't want to just see the pyramids. Like, I want to go on a tour or so, like do some shit. Like, we here for 7 to 10 days. We might not come back for. It's not a place that we can just jump right back to. So
I mean, I'm not opposed to that. I don't.
Especially when you're talking about taking $10,000 and $15,000 trips. Like, I need it to be like 7 to 10 days. Like,
but that's when it costs more than that. When you talk about stuff, 10 to 15,000. That's like for your basic 5-day trip. When you talk about more than that, now you talking about more hotel fees, because the flights is going to be the flights. But when you start adding on days, now that $10 to $15,000 trip is now a $20,000 trip.
Maybe with a travel agent, you could work that out. Like, get a package or something. I don't know. I haven't looked too much into those long trips, but like a Mykonos, like I don't want to just go for 4 or 5 days. And that's just ideal. Like, that's just not saying like I'm set on that, but that's just ideal. Those long trips that's over 7-8 hour flights. Yeah, I want to stay for a while. Like, I don't want to have to turn around 4 days later and take a 10-hour flight back.
I would say for those trips, I would say minimum 5 nights. That would be minimum. Now, if you could go 6-7 nights, great. I think 10 nights, again, the price start going up and time starts stretching out too. Like, all right, what else? How much more? What else we going to do here? Like, other than relax, which is beautiful. But, I mean, the long and short of it is at some point you still got to take that 10-hour flight home. So
if you go to a place like a Cairo and you're going to see the pyramids and you want to be on like, and now you go on that, you're not so much on a lax vacation. You're on like an itinerary.
Yeah.
So you want to have stuff to do, places to eat every day. Mm-hmm. Like, so you want to,
explore.
That's a vacation you're going to come back from tired.
Yeah, you want to explore.
Yeah.
But again, so if you talking about like a work week, okay, your Saturday, maybe even your Friday night to Sunday might be your travel time. Your stay time might be Sunday to Friday. And then your travel time again from, Friday to Sunday getting home.
That's not bad, even if you took that Monday.
Yeah.
Even if you took
to
the
just,
Monday.
oh, of course, to relax from
Yeah.
work or whatever.
No, if you took that Monday so you could stay Saturday. And
Yeah.
make Sunday and Monday your traveling day.
Okay, but I think a minimum 5 days to those places. You still, because you're still on vacation, you're still not working. The time frame is still going to feel good because you're doing something new. You're enjoying yourself. So I think for those kind of long distance vacations, 5 to 7 nights is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
again, for us, our goal, we said we wanted, to take a vacation at least once a quarter. Now, in between that time, like, we might slip in a trip, down the 95 to see our family. We might slip in a trip, up to stay in New York for a weekend. So it's not like we're only getting away those times. You know what I mean? We might do little stuff in between. We might slip in a Vegas weekend from a Friday to Monday. But I think minimum once a quarter. We work hard all year long. Like, I think
and we both have
that.
Enough vacation time where we can do that, where we're not like some people are restricted to a week vacation a year, and it's like it's tough to be sick, go on vacation, and do all this other shit when you're restricted to a week and probably a couple sick days. Yeah. But if you got a job or work for a company where you got a month or 3 weeks, then you got something to play with throughout the year. Mm-hmm. Sunburn. It's a myth out there that black people don't burn. And the pushback is, what about our ancestors, babe? We don't see pictures in Africa of people, all peeled up and burning. So they don't burn out there. They ain't putting on cream. Why we burn?
Because we're not used to that life. Like, if we...
So the myth is true. Black people don't burn if you're used to the sun?
I don't even think so much that it doesn't burn because if you look at our ancestors...
Or people in Kenya, or people, they black and beautiful, but they not putting on suntan stream. I mean... They not putting on suntan lotion every day that they in the sun. That's just where they live at. No,
but they do use like natural oils and stuff for their skin. But again, their skin is used to that, so they don't need it. Our skin, so it is a myth that black people don't burn because we do. Now, that doesn't mean all of us do. Those who are from that environment and their skin is used to those temperatures, then that it's nothing new to them. Our skin going into that kind of sun and not being used to being exposed to that year round, then hell yeah, we burn.
But hot is hot. Like, burning is burning. What would be used to not, like, what would be to make you not burn is what I'm saying. Like,
because it's nothing new to your skin. Your skin is used to that temperature. Like, that it's even in the reverse. Like, you think about if we went to Russia, right? We might be freezing cold, but on a 40-degree day, they might be outside in shorts because their bodies have acclimated to that climate, so they don't feel the cold the way that we feel it. The same, like, it reverses for the heat. They don't feel the heat the way we feel it. Their skin doesn't their skin has already acclimated to the heat, to the sun.
But I would think in my mind, it would be like, you're right. The cold would be the cold because that's air. I'm thinking of heat, and like, say it's 90 degrees in a room. Okay, like, you're not going to burn, but the sun is the sun. That should burn everybody when it gets your skin to a certain degree. Like, that should bubble for white people, black people, for everybody, because the sun is up there. It's not just a room that's kicked up in heat that you have to deal with. You know what I'm saying?
I think if your skin is used to it, then it's different. Like, if you're born and that's what you have always, a 90-degree day for somebody, in Kenya, and I'm just throwing it out there. I don't want to sound ignorant, but, one of those countries that are closer to the equator where it's always
sweltering hot.
Yeah, like a 90-degree day may feel great to them, may feel cool. So I think there's a huge difference when from birth, this is the climate that your skin is used to, then it's not going to. Now, again, I don't know if because we see our people, their skin looks beautiful and shiny for the most part. So there may be protectants that they are using, whether it's some natural clay from the earth or, those something from their culture that they're using to protect their skin. But
Oh,
over
you meant
time, I
like
think their skin gets
some
used
home
to
stuff,
it.
not shea butters. You meant like some clay or some stuff that they use
Yeah, or
from a
shea
plant,
butter that comes from Africa that they may be using. So
or stuff that come from plants.
exactly. So they could be using anything as a form of protection over time. But I don't think that their skin doesn't, just like in Jamaica, like I don't think their skin reacts to it in the same way that ours does.
It does not. Those people are like relatively dark. There's some lighter Jamaicans I saw. Even when I went down to see the Weed Man, there was a light skinned Jamaican, like lighter than you, and sound with the patois. But so yeah, they I don't know how. I guess it's genetics. Like, how would he be a light skinned Jamaican and everybody around him is like dark? Was his parents light skinned, or he got a white?
Probably so.
Somebody white in the family.
And there's a big Asian population in Jamaica. Maybe not. We're at the resorts, so they don't work at the resorts and so forth. They may be more like in the business districts and like Kingston. But there's a huge Asian population.
That is bad
and
to think that Asians are down there banging the Jamaicans.
Well, I mean, love is love. They may find,
That's bad.
There was a huge migration from China to Jamaica back in the day. And if you, the book Black Cake, which turned into a TV series, talked about that. Well, it wasn't about that, but the girl's family, like her dad was Chinese, Mr. Lin. But that's like a thing. And even we know that like the little deli, bodega near the resort. I know it's not a bodega in Jamaica, but of that Indian descent. There's a lot of Indians that have migrated to Jamaica also. So it's multicultural. I mean, of course, Black Jamaicans are the majority.
Remember what was we at in the grill where we saw that white woman who had dreads down her back with her Jamaican husband, and they had like 4 kids. Mm-hmm. They would eat breakfast with us every morning. Yeah.
So I mean, there's definitely, just like here, but it's just that it's so beautiful there because Black people are the majority. So that's what you see, majority.
Is going on vacation before we get to this question, talk about the police activity.
So the funny thing is, we encountered 2 incidents where there was police activity. One, first, as soon as we get there, our taxi or our driver from the airport to the hotel,
which is a 7-minute ride,
gets pulled over by the police. They ask him for his papers. They open the door. They checking, looking. He could tell he got an attitude. So we watching everything go down. Like, what is happening? So they talking back and forth. They asked him about his fire extinguisher. He, after a while, they held this up for about 10 minutes or so. He snatched his papers back, shut the door. And it wasn't even no sign that like they said, okay, you can go, but obviously he did. So he didn't say nothing. So I had to ask, like, what was that about? Like, the police just like stopped us and
opened the side door looking at us.
I'm thinking they about to tell us to get out, check our bags. Like, we didn't know what the hell was going on. All this because he didn't have a seatbelt on. I was like, wow. But he said, they kind of mess with him every day. But I'm thinking, sir, put your seatbelt on because then they won't do this. But we didn't know what was about to go down. Then one day we at the beach chilling. We see this guy. He walk up the beach. He's selling seashells. Now, of course, he got a little something else extra that he's selling with it. But, he was just a regular guy. Had a big bag, a couple, maybe an hour or so later, a couple hours later, we see him coming back with handcuffs on. Now, in between that
walking
time,
with 2 cops.
I was reading, he was asleep. When he woke up, I told him, I said, babe, there's some police activity going on. Because I had seen the cops back and forth, and which was odd. We hadn't seen any cops on the beach prior to that, or even after that. But I'm like, babe, there was some police activity going on around while you sleep. Next thing we know, here come the cops. So they got him locked up out on the pier. They're like laying down on the pier looking underneath, and a police boat come over. So now the one cop is laying on the pier looking underneath. The police boat, they look. Next thing you know, you hear them hollering, telling somebody to come out, going back and forth. This man is hiding in the water under the pier. It was like, nobody would believe this except for the
It's
people who
going
were
down.
there watching
It's
this.
coming up to your breast. It's going down.
And of course, you have people of the Caucasian persuasion who are like walking right on up,
Phones in their hands,
like front row seat, like they like no kind of. I wasn't afraid, but it's like, okay, you maintain a distance. There's some criminal activity going on. You maintain a distance. Let the police do their jobs. No sense of personal space at all. No sense of police space of like, this ain't my business. Let me just step aside a little bit. They were right up on the cops. Like, we want to see what y'all doing. Like, y'all fake cops. They pull the guy out. He gets in the boat. I guess they arrest him and then went on about their day.
They found his bag.
Yeah.
Whatever. I didn't see what he had in his bag, but they found his bag.
It was a whole...
But he was hiding under the pier. Like,
yes.
And it's like this concrete pier with these little block holes. So it's like a screening. And you can't really see in it.
Yeah.
So he was like hiding in the corner. And the waves are coming up. So you got to go under and then come back up. It must have been 20 minutes they was looking for him under there before they found him.
Yeah, because they was just looking, but quietly. Then all of a sudden, you heard them start howling. It was like, oh, they found somebody.
And he was in the water watching this, and it was a Jamaican man in the water who was like, "Why would you come out? You're going to get arrested." He's like, "I'd stay in there too."
Yeah.
He's like, come out, you know that's your freedom.
Yeah, like what would be the point? And they not, first of all, in order to get you, they're
gotta
fully
get wet.
clothed, like belts on, guns, long sleeve uniform. Like they don't want to come in there. They got their boots and stuff on. Stay in. But he ended up coming out.
That was crazy. Is going on vacation to the same spot a problem?
So to the same spot, like in hotel, or the same vacation destination?
Same vacation. Like we went to Topsail 11 times.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a problem if you like it. I mean, and it's good to you.
And at the time, we loved Topsail. Like, we found that and was like, this is our spot.
Topsail is a little beach area in North Carolina, and you know, I think if it's good to you and you enjoy it, and then also comes with that is memories. Like it becomes tradition. I don't think that's necessarily a problem. For me, like I want to see more parts of the world. Mm-hmm. So I feel like Jamaica is our favorite vacation destination that we've been to. And I told my husband before, like, okay, we want to take at least 4 vacations a year. 1 could be Jamaica. Now I feel like maybe 2 can be Jamaica, and then the other 2 we kind of,
such an awesome experience.
See the rest of the world, because it really is a beautiful place, beautiful people. They're just so friendly and welcoming. So I don't think it's necessarily a problem if you like it. I mean, yeah, why would it be? Now, you got some people who will like forever go to Miami. To each his own. You're paying your own money, and Miami ain't cheap to go to. I just want to see more of the world. Like the world is so vast. And I know we won't even travel to all the places that we really want to see, but I want to see a lot of them. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, is it a bad thing? No. Is it the life that I want for us? No. But,
it's not the life that I want. I'm just putting the question out there, because a lot of people, a lot of people go to the same spot for vacation.
No. I mean,
just like we went to Topsail 11 times, there's people who go to Puerto Rico all the time. There's people who go to Cabo, to Mexico all the time. Like there's people.
Yeah, and again, for some people, it's tradition. I taught one of my
and they're known. They get there, and the people remember them. It's like, okay, you guys were here last year, or you guys were here a few months ago. Like
one of my coworkers, she had mentioned, she and her husband are from 2 different countries. She's from Jamaica, he's from the Dominican Republic, and she was like, every year we go to Jamaica at least once. Every year we go to the Dominican Republic at least once. And then the other 2 vacations we kind of, spread around. So, I mean, part of that is tradition, which I love creating traditions, regardless of what it is. So going to Topsail for us, it was kind of out of, I don't want to say necessity, because we didn't have the ability to drive at that time, but we found a place that we loved, and we have been other places, and then we just decided, all right, this is going to be our spot. We like it here. We just going to keep coming back here. But, when we went to Jamaica, when we went to Negril, we met a couple, and they told us that they had been there. That was their 23rd time there. And it was like, wow, y'all must really love it. But which, is a beautiful thing. But I don't think it's a bad thing at all. But I wouldn't want that to be our only vacation. If it was our once or twice a year vacation, I'm for it.
Aside from Jamaica, real quick, which I think that would be your answer, so take that off the board. Which Caribbean place, Antigua, Costa Rica, like which one of those Caribbean spots would you want citizenship in?
I can't really say because I haven't been to them yet. Like, so I have nothing to compare it to. I can't say. I mean, because you may go to like an Antigua or Barbados. I think
Bahamas.
They would be similar. I would think. I don't know. I think they would be similar, but I really don't know to say.
Bermuda, Aruba.
Yeah. I love seeing all of us. I mean, and the world is diverse. You see people from all cultures, but I love being around us in every facet. And not, I mean, of course, in a hotel, there's service people, but they are just beautiful people. They're friendly, and they seem to really enjoy their job, so, for what it is, I can't really
They care
say.
about their home. They care about the perception you have of it when you leave there. They want you to know that this is a beautiful place, and when you come here, you're going to be treated well. So, not unless, you may wander off and take a cab to Kingston. Now you're on your own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Should you take little kids on vacation? Little kids being, let's say, 10 and under. And my stance on this is, I think, as a parent, if you have little kids, I think husband and wife sometimes need a separation from that. So I'm not saying never take the kids anywhere, but when it's time for a husband and wife to go on vacation, I don't necessarily think that little kids should go, because that's the time for the marriage. That's the time for the reconnecting. That's the time for the husband and wife to work out stuff. So what do you think on that?
I absolutely think kids deserve a vacation just like adults do. I do think, if you're a husband and wife, yes, you need, just husband and wife vacation or adult time and then family time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, when people go on vacation all the time and their kids never get to go on vacation, they ain't never been anywhere except the zoo or Wildwood.
That's not a vacation.
And you've been to, the Bahamas or even Miami and I'm not saying every kid needs to go to Disney World, because I ain't all a big Disney World fan. It's too damn big. But
I've never been, so I don't know.
But I'm just saying, I absolutely, that would be one of my dreams if we had a kid. Like, when they are born, as soon as we get their social, we applying for their passport, and they are going to see the world. Like, and I think it's important too.
But that's what I'm saying, not to cut you off. When you got a baby, what are you taking them to Egypt for? They don't remember that shit. So when you talking about a baby is born, you getting a passport in 6 months, we on a plane to Egypt, they ain't fucking gonna remember that shit.
No, I'm not saying that necessarily, but that doesn't mean when we go to this beautiful beach vacation, they can't go. Now, when they can remember, when they're 5, 6 years old, yes, now they can see Egypt, they can see Paris, they can see other places of the world, because as they start learning about these places in school, they'll be able to know, I visited these places.
I think they should go when they're when they can experience it, like not just get there and quote unquote, I don't want to sound wrong, but act like kids, like get there and be restless and be like, if they're old enough to be like, they can enjoy some of the adult things and they understand, like, we're here to experience some stuff. That's when I think that it's okay to take kids. But if you're a husband and wife and you're taking kids to a vacation spot just to look after kids, then you're not really on vacation. You're just there trying to entertain your kids.
I mean, I definitely...
when they're young is what I'm saying, like, when they're young.
Yeah, I mean, I would want our kids to experience most of the things that we experience. Like, just like when if we're here and we're going to 4 or 5 star dinners, they're going to learn how to act in that capacity.
Right.
Kids are going to learn how to act on a damn airplane and how to, keep your voice at a respectable volume on an airplane, how to sit down and not put your feet in seats and stuff. Like, I think those are the things that are important lessons that you can teach kids at that young age. And for them to grow up and be, a teenager and be well traveled, I think is a beautiful asset. And it exposes them to different cultures, opens their mind to the possibilities of the world outside of just their neighborhood or just their state or just the United States. It really exposes them to different things. It's something that I would desire for our children.
I agree with everything you just said. I just think there's a age thing. Like, I don't think they get that at 3 and 4, shit like that. I think you if you're 10 or over, you may understand everything that you just said. But I think when you're a little younger and we get places and it's just like, okay, we can't experience nothing because the kids is irritated, the kids is restless, the kids want to go to McDonald's and they don't have fucking McDonald's here.
Well, I think too,
they want nuggets and it's like, we're not in that place, y'all. Like, y'all got to eat this.
But I think too, it's, like, okay, this vacation is a mommy daddy vacation, this vacation is a kid's vacation, so you have a different level of expectations. Like, like, this is what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to take floaties and stuff to the pool,
right,
or, to the beach. Like, so it's a different level of expectation. You can't go expecting the kids to just let you chill. No, they're still going to be kids, but I wouldn't want them to never have been or been exposed to those places, and we have.
Yeah. 3 grams. This is Baltimore sells hundreds of houses for $1 due to like a program where they're trying to revamp the blight.
This isn't the first. Was this recent? Because this isn't the first time that they've done this.
Yeah, this is recent. So this probably the second or third round or the second round of
which
this.
I think is an awesome thing. But I hope that they are doing it with people having the knowledge and not just getting these properties and not knowing what to do with it.
I think when I read deep into this, a lot of the properties that you're getting, you're not getting. I mean, you're getting for the price of $1, but you're taking on any tax bills or water bills or anything like that that's associated
and it has to be renovated, to do whatever. So that's why I'm saying I hope that people are doing it with some knowledge. So you're still getting it for the
low because you're not paying a cost for the house,
right?
But you got things to do. Per person got a $6,000 water bill or a lien, or you got to straighten that shit out.
What I hope that they are doing, that they have some stops in place that prohibits businesses from buying up the properties
Blocks.
And then holding on to them. And then that's where you get gentrification from, because then they decide, oh, well, let's just tear them down and build these condos that now the everyday working man can't even afford. Instead of now if you give that opportunity to, Mr. Harris, who been saving his money for some years, and he can buy a house and he can have it renovated and he can maybe flip it, then you give somebody a potential to make some income instead of just the normal businesses or the property groups from coming in and doing it. So I hope they have some sort of regulation in place for that purpose. But yeah, I've heard of them doing this some years back. And I mean, again, if it's going to help to reinvigorate the city, then that's all well and good. And again, I hope there is some room for the everyday common man to make some money out of this. Mm-hmm. And
I hope it's not red line where like everyday people can't go buy the property.
But that's what I'm saying. Well, not even necessarily red lined. I hope that it's not priced out where it's like, okay, you're not even allowing the everyday working person to be able to afford this, because now, you done did these renovations and one person sets a home value at $500,000 that 10 years ago a house on this block might have been $100,000, and now you done set the bar so high that the everyday working man who dreams of owning a home and can afford a reasonably priced home can never afford to live in this neighborhood again.
I'm talking about like a gatekeeper. So the houses are for $1. You go down there with your money and you want to buy a house for $1, but they want to look at your background, all this shit, how much you make, and then tell you, no, you're not. You can't buy the house for $1 because of whatever the fuck reason. Only certain people can come in, like, you know what I mean? And you find that out throughout the process. Like, yo, they not letting everybody just go down there and buy the $1 house.
Well, I mean, there should be some, because again, you want to make sure that whoever is buying the house they can afford the tax bill so that the same issue doesn't happen. Or that they have some money to put in. If you know they're buying this dilapidated house that nobody can just buy and move in, they're going to have it renovated. You want to make sure that the people who are doing it have the funds to do so.
But what if they want it? What if this is their chance for an investment property, which in the sense of, okay, y'all selling, like I'm looking towards the future, y'all selling these houses for $1. That don't mean I have to fix it up, because if I fix up my house, the 15 houses on this block still shit. So it ain't really a place to live. So my idea is to hold this house until eventually somebody wants to buy it. So that's where the investment comes in. So I don't necessarily want to buy it and renovate it and fix it up and put all this nice shit in it when the 15 houses around it don't have nothing in it.
Well, I don't think that's going to be the plan. I think there's probably some stipulations that say, okay, you buying this house, there has to be some progress or improvement in it. Because if that's the case, then you can take $15 and buy 15 houses on the block and just hold them for the next 10 years and they haven't achieved anything.
You can't really take $15 because in order for the sale to close, you got to clear up the back shit. Right. Is what I'm saying. So it's not just your dollar. Right. It's the taxes, the liens, the bills that are all associated with the house. No, I get that,
but I'm being like facetious in saying the $15. But you can go, okay, let's say you buy 3 houses, somebody else buy 4 houses, somebody else buy 2 houses, but yet y'all are just waiting like for the first person to take the first move, so then you can decide, oh, well, they renovated their houses, so let me now flip my houses to let them know, well, they're renovating. I think there's something built into it where you have to show that you have some plan in place, because the key is they want the neighborhood to improve. They don't want the houses to just continue to sit.
I don't think the city wants the blocks to be the same, though. So I don't think they want 15 people to come buy 15 houses and renovate them all and bring the same people back into the houses to think that the same thing's going to happen again to all those blocks in Baltimore.
No, I don't think the same people are going to be back there, because again, if you're renovating a house and you're making this house nice and beautiful, the people who were there probably won't even be able to afford to live back in there. And I don't think they're selling houses that people are living in. Like, I think these are
these are blight houses. Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think that the people who left the houses will be able to afford to come back there, but I also hope that it's not priced out so far that like not even the everyday working person who just wants a better house for themselves or their family won't even be able to afford it.
So the government, the city should say, to buy these houses, is an initiative that you must fix these houses.
That's what I would think.
Because you're right. Because they would just sit and they would just wait for the city to buy them back when y'all want to gentrify.
Exactly. Like I think you may have to have some sort of plan of action to show, okay, that you have the funds and like you got some things lined up in order, because the key, the goal is to improve the neighborhood.
Right, but it's just a problem if it's 20 houses on a block. And we know how a row home block look. We grew up on them. And you bought the 8th and 9th house and you renovating them, and nobody on the left or right is renovating theirs. And when they all fixed up, who are you going to rent to? Who wants to live there next to houses that ain't been renovated? So it's like, mine's is done and look nice and got new shit in it, but who wants to rent next to 8 row homes that's empty?
But you got to think about this, right? You will have that person who wants to be the first one in, because if you're the first ones, okay, and I'm just throwing this number out there. Let's say it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, $2,000. I don't know what the rent prices are. $2,000. You're the first, second ones on this block. Once everybody else,
you're right.
Now you talking about 23, 25, 3,000. So you may want to be the first one in order to get that opportunity. Or even if you have an opportunity to buy the house, there's certain areas like Middletown, Delaware. I have a very close friend that lives there. She's been there for, I want to say, at least 10, 15 years. The price of her house that she bought at that time is like so far below the price that people are paying now, because Middletown has become like this new hot destination for I would say like middle class, low upper class Black people, so maybe white people too, to live to.
They're buying the houses at $400 or $500, and she didn't even pay that.
Oh, I would say they may be buying the houses at $700-800 where she may have paid $300.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you kind of want to. It's not a bad idea to be the first in, because once it gets hot, the prices are going to reflect that. Now, we know how when we look at them doing renovations in like Kensington, we be like, who the hell wants to live here? You got these white people who will move in those areas because they have the foresight to see what's going to be in the future. Look at Brewery Town. Mm-hmm. How when you did a house in Brewery Town in 2004 back then, and it was like this little shell of a house that they are renovating. Look how that area has boomed since that time. And they were like, you know, kind of one of the first, not first, but like early into that area. If they sold that house, can you imagine how much they probably sold that house for now?
Yeah.
So, I mean, some people don't mind being the first ones in if they know. And again, they have to have the foresight and that business mind to say, you know what? Guess what? I ain't going to be mad living on an empty block. You don't got to worry about no neighbors bothering us. And eventually neighbors will come.
Yeah, I guess.
I wouldn't want to do it.
I was about to say, I wouldn't either. I don't want to, especially
people,
when you're talking about row homes and you're talking about Baltimore blocks. It's like 25 houses on one side. Okay, me and you bought house 8 and 9. And ain't nobody doing shit with their houses. Like, that's crazy. Like, we just live on a block that don't have nothing on it.
And you got to think, too, with the city promoting this, the police, the city has to be playing some part into it too. The police presence is probably going to be increased because they want to lure people into making these investments. If it's still crappy and crime ridden, people done probably already took the pipes out of everything. So, you know, squatters, they got to make sure they keep them out.
And that's another thing you got to worry about when you renovating houses that's all blight. Like the second you put copper in, they take it out. The second you put drywall in, they take it out. Like the second you put granite in, they ripping that shit out. What is an insult you'll never forget?
To me?
Yeah, let's be honest, Thomas.
An insult that I would never forget. That's a loaded question because you gotta like think over time, and I can't really recall somebody insulting
Well, I'm thinking about the things that really hit then. So all that other shit that you need the Rolodex for is ancillary. So it's got to be some things in life that stand out. Like,
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, because I can't really think of anybody insulting me.
How are you a 43-year-old person, black woman, and you ain't never been insulted to the point where you were taken aback? And it didn't stick with you?
Not to say people ain't maybe said something behind my back, but like to my face to insult me. Yeah, I can't really think of anything. And this wasn't like, it was, I guess it was kind of one of them things like, I had a manager and I was applying for a different position. Now, me and this lady did not click at all. And she, you know, wanted to, she was kind of asking me like, well, why are you applying for a job? She didn't want me to leave, even though, whatever, we didn't mix. And she was like, well, is it because of money? And I said, no, it's not because of money. Oh, like my salary is good. I'm paid well. And she said, oh, well, you must not live in Jersey. You must live in Philly. And it was one of them things where it was like, no, like, almost like you couldn't afford to live in Jersey if you think your salary is good. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I wasn't so much. I just kind of like laughed at it because one, that is a huge projection. Maybe your salary isn't good or you can't afford to live where you live at. But you don't know
where you're supposed to be like, what the fuck did you just say to me?
But you don't know, like, if I have a 2-income household, you don't know how much money my husband makes. Like, I was like, no, I live in Jersey and my salary is good. And I told HR on her too. But not specifically because of that, but because we was going through some HR stuff and I mentioned that.
No, I understand.
And they were like, she said what?
You can't say bitch and who you talking to and all, but that's one of the moments where it's like, you would think, talking about the definition of condescending, like you are speaking down at me.
Yeah, like, you must not live in
that
Jersey.
shit landed on me and you just said it. Yeah. Like that landed on me. So I could imagine if somebody was saying that to me, I would feel so small, like, motherfucker, who you, like I can live any fucking way I want to.
But I guess for me, yes, I was like taken aback that she said that. But because she was wrong, it was like, no. And I guess too, like, I know my financial situation. I know I'm good. So for her to say that or assume that was kind of like, you're wrong. Now, if I wasn't living in Jersey or if I was having a hard financial time, it might have been a little bit different because it would have been like, damn, like maybe this is a little bit of money. But it was just like, no, I do live in Jersey and financially I'm good, sis. Like, I'm good. So and that's probably like the most recent, even though that was some years ago, but I can't think of like any other insult that somebody like that said about me or to me. What about you?
I've said before, just you can imagine who it was, but just saying that I should have been aborted.
Oh wow.
That was like I'll never forget that. That like when I say something lands on you, like, and a lot of shit roll off my shoulders, but I always bring that up every 5 or 6 years or so. It's like you hear that, but yeah, that's a stinger.
Is that because of who it was from, or would they have felt that way from anybody? Like, let's say if you
from anybody, I wouldn't give a shit because you didn't have the power to do that.
I know, but what if but still somebody else saying it to you means that they wish you were never born.
No.
So if like we were in an argument, it's like, like I wish you were aborted.
I would laugh.
Like that's.
I would laugh. Oh my God! It shook the camera.
Yeah.
I would laugh, but So yeah, that's what I would do if it was coming from anybody else. But because it came from that person, it would be like, holy shit! Like it stunk. It landed hard. Ozempic lawsuits. There's hundreds of them out there on the books. A lady in Arizona was diagnosed with diabetes. This is just recently while we were going. Then she got sick off the medication. It had adverse effects on her. And she had to get her gallbladder taken out and got jaundice.
Oh, wow.
From Ozempic.
But now, see, that's a little different.
And they named all of them. Ozempic, Manjaro, Wegovy, and it's another one.
But see, that's a little different than...
They call it GLP-1 is what the drug is actually called.
Yeah. It's like semaglutide or something like that. But that's a little different than like people taking it for weight loss. Like, so basically that's just a side effect of her taking it for what it was originally created for, because she does have diabetes. But I wonder if her lawsuit will have any standing because, with all medications, they tell you, all right, here's the potential side effects. So if that was one of the potential side effects, I wonder if, you taking it and you agreeing to take it if...
But there's a fine line if the doctor said, okay, you have diabetes. I can give you something that if you lose weight, your diabetes might go away. So I'm prescribing this because it might keep him safe because I'm prescribing this, and this is a diabetes drug, but I'm prescribing it for you to lose weight so you can get rid of your diabetes. So now that you're under the impression that I'm going to lose weight off this drug, and then it fucks you all up. Now you got to get your gallbladder out. He can say, well, it's a drug for diabetes. I prescribed it for that. When initially he described it for weight loss.
Well, you can't lie because that's recorded. Like it's not a word of mouth thing. So on the prescription, it has to have a reason.
It's not a word of mouth.
Yeah, you can't say one thing and the prescription says something different. There has to be a reason on the prescription as to why they are prescribing it. Because the thing is, if it's prescribed for diabetes, then that could be covered under your insurance if you have it. If it's prescribed for weight loss, then many of these people who are taking these drugs have to pay out of pocket because it's not a weight loss drug. And a lot of health insurance companies don't pay for weight loss drugs anyway. So it's not a word of mouth thing. Either way, there are side effects to drugs. So unless there's like a situation where you were given a drug and it caused, I'm just going to say eye cancer. And it's like, out of all these things, nothing about this mentions eye cancer. And there's a direct correlation saying taking this medication is the cause of this. Then I think you have a case. But if it's something that is listed as a potential side effect, regardless of why it was regardless of why it was prescribed, if it's part of the potential side effects and you agree to take it knowing those side effects. I met a girl, where was I? And she was talking about all of the, oh my goodness, it was at a work thing. I can't place where I was, but she was talking about she is one of the people who's responsible for printing the material. You know, when you get a prescription and it has that piece of paper that's folded, and she was like, yeah, like, you know, that she's part of responsible for printing that. And she was like, some of those things, there's like a 0.1% chance. But if there's any chance, they have to print it in the materials. Mm-hmm. And she was saying a lot of people don't take the time to read it. But if it's there, you know, it's there. So she may not have a case, regardless of why it was prescribed. If part of it says it could cause this.
Well, that was one case out of hundreds that's new on the book. So don't know each person's ailment or adverse effect to it, but that's just something I've never heard. When you have jaundice, that makes me think something's fucking with your liver.
Your liver, yeah.
And you know that's what that, and that's just crazy if they're giving you, and then that could be a part of your diabetes though too. Exactly,
that's what I'm saying. That story is a little subjective because why was she prescribed? Was it prescribed for her diabetes? And you were taking like this?
It said in the story she was prescribed something to manage her diabetes.
Okay, so if that's one of the potential side effects, then I don't know that she'll have a case to stand
on. That's a wrap. Let's do a wrap. Act 2 the podcast, episode 167 coming to a close. We were happy to bring y'all this episode, even though there was some logistics involved in it. But we're happy to be here for y'all. Act 2 the podcast, episode 167. You guys can catch us on Facebook, act2thepodcast.com, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Player FM, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. Just type us in and bam, you'll pop up. We appreciate y'all listening and watching. Anything you got? I'm going to throw it to you.
Remember to lead with love.
It's your boy International One.
It's your girl Tasha, co-host with the mostest.
If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace. Thanks, baby.